Hey friends, happy Friday. Hopefully you guys have had a good week. You've finished strong. You're headed into your weekend, ready to kick back and relax. For me, I am headed to Twin Falls tomorrow morning to take my boys down to stay with my parents for a week. I have a conference I need to go to in Boise, a teaching conference next week, so the boys are going to go hang out at the grandparents' house and hopefully do some fun things. So for tonight, I thought maybe I would keep it a little bit lighthearted since I tackled some heavy stuff this week. So I just want to throw this out there. What are you reading? Yeah, what are you reading? I'm going to share what I currently am in the midst of or have just finished or just going to start. And then I'm hoping that you guys will throw some suggestions in the comments of what you're reading or what you would recommend an avid reader check out. My husband's watching. Hi, honey. And Wendy's here. Hi, Wendy. So yeah, topic tonight, what are you reading? I am a firm believer that reading is a great habit. Not only is it a great habit, it's a great hobby. Because obviously when we read, even if we're just reading for fun and maybe it's just fiction, I feel like reading is a great way to open your mind and explore new topics and new worlds, and I have always loved reading. It's one of my favorite things to do. Reading is how I recharge, it's how I rest, and it's how I like to engage with the world. So, to start us off, I'm going to tell you guys what is actually on my Kindle right now, either in process of being read or I'm getting ready to read it. So first off, I am currently right in the middle of reading Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. Wendy says, learned optimism, how to change your mind and your life. That is a great suggestion, Wendy. Thank you. Keep them coming. So yeah, right now I am reading Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. And if you are not familiar with Malcolm Gladwell, he is one of my favorite nonfiction writers. The guy is just so thoughtful and he explores the most interesting topics. So Blink is a book about how we think. So it's like a book where he talks about thinking and approaches to thinking, and it's just jam-packed with some really interesting concepts and ideas. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, number one, Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. Second thing on my list to finish before school starts is Teaching Tools by Fred Jones, I believe. So for my teacher buddies out there, Teaching Tools by Fred Jones. That's a really great book. I'm almost done with it, and I have learned a lot of great concepts and techniques from that. So that's number two. What else? Let me look in my Kindle. I have it right in front of me. Okay. So once I am done with Blink, I am going to move on to The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. I've actually started this book before and for some reason just didn't finish it, so I'm going to pick it back up because I really do think his teachings on having a morning routine is going to be really, really helpful for me moving into this new school year. Wendy says, I love to read fiction, but working on self-improvement right now. Cool, Wendy. Yeah, I do too. I love to read fiction. I love to read nonfiction. Now, I will tell you, when I was younger, I did not enjoy nonfiction whatsoever, and actually I thought it was pretty much a waste of my time. I'm happy to say the older I get, the more I enjoy exploring nonfiction topics. So yeah, the next one I'm going to tackle is Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. If you don't know who Hal is, this guy has a really interesting story. He has a really, really cool backstory, so to speak, and he tells you a little bit about it in the book. So yeah, we've got Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, Tools for Teaching by Fred Jones, Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. Another book that I've already read that I highly recommend is Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Dr. Wayne Dyer. Dr. Dyer is no longer with us, but he has wrote, in his lifetime, he wrote so many really inspirational, interesting books. If you like challenging ideas and personal development, definitely check out Wayne Dyer. He's just a good read, and his writing style is very conversational, so it's very easy to read. Malcolm Gladwell, the guy I mentioned at the beginning, who I'm currently reading his book Blink, he has a little bit more complex writing style. It's not that it's too academic, it's just his concepts, he digs in really deep. So it's definitely not something that I read at night because it will put me to sleep. Anyway, yeah. So let me check. What else do I want to tell you guys? I mean, I just wanted to give you a couple of really good suggestions to get you started. So another one that I have on my Kindle waiting to read is called Teach Like a Pirate for my teacher friends. I recently read 2 different books this summer. I read Secrets of a Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. If you haven't read that and you're interested in changing your mindset about finances, I highly recommend it. It was a great read. It was really interesting. I liked it so much that I got it from my husband on Audible because he's more of a auditory reader. Yeah. So that's Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. The other book that totally rocked my summer thus far is The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. If you are not familiar with Mel Robbins, you can just type her name into Google and you will be exposed to her. She pretty much is on any social media platform. She has a fabulous YouTube channel, and she's really well known for her TED Talk on the 5-second rule. My husband just popped on to give you all some audio suggestions since he's an audio guy. The Chad Prather podcast. Chad also has a station called The Political Cowboy. Chad, my husband and I just discovered him. He is a comedian, but he's also really wise and really inspiring. And yeah, his I think his podcast is either the Chad Prather Show or Watch Chad. I'm not really sure, but you'll be able to find it. Tyson typed it up there for you. Yeah, another one, a great one, is Jocko Willink's podcast. I'm not exactly sure of the name. It might just be the Jocko Podcast. But if you enjoy listening to ex-military guys who are just super smart and just have a lot of really good life lessons to share, you would like that one as well. Then the other book that I just got because I couldn't resist and it was on sale on Amazon is a book called Talking as Fast as I Can, and that's by Lauren Graham. I have been wanting to read this book for probably a year. So Lauren Graham, if you don't know who she is an actress who played Lorelai Gilmore on The Gilmore Girls. And if you are a good friend of mine, you will know that I absolutely love The Gilmore Girls. It's one of my all-time lifelong favorite shows. I have watched every season multiple times, including the new seasons that they did on Netflix here not too long ago, where they went through the 4 seasons and kind of followed Rory as she went through this journey. Anyway, Lauren Graham, she wrote a book called Talking as Fast as I Can, and I have been so looking forward to reading this book. I can't even tell you how excited I am. Alright, so just to recap, I don't want to make the list too long and overwhelming, but I mentioned Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. I'm right in the middle of it, and it's so interesting. I love reading about thinking, and I really, really love reading about the brain and how it works. And he talks a lot about he calls it the adaptive subconscious or adaptive unconscious. Anyway, if you like the brain and you like learning about thinking, you'll love Malcolm Gladwell. And then I mentioned Tools for Teaching by Fred Jones. What else did I mention? I mentioned, definitely, if you don't check out anything else, check out The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. She is a powerhouse, and you will totally dig that. Lauren Graham's Talking as Fast as I Can. And then the last one I'm going to drop here and leave you with, because I read it twice so far, and it's just really, really good. And that is Natasha Hazlett's Unstoppable Influence. I bought that the day that I heard her speak live for the first time, and let me tell you, that little gal is a powerhouse. So definitely check out that one as well. If you are watching with me live and you threw out some suggestions, thank you so much. If you are watching this as a replay, I would absolutely love for you to drop your book suggestions. So I'm always looking for something new to read, and I read it across all different types of genres, from nonfiction to fiction. So if you've got a book that you just feel like I need to read, or a suggestion, or a book you're reading right now that you're really digging, like, drop it in the comments, and everybody will be happier for having a new book to check out. Alright, if you have any questions about the books I mentioned, or if you didn't understand the title, or you need the author's name, put it in the comments or send me a message. I'm happy to give you the titles and links and so forth. Alright, light evening for tonight. Before I leave you, I will say Tyson and Hunter and I just finished watching, like literally 15 minutes ago, we just finished watching A Quiet Place, which is a fairly new movie that has just come out. Written and directed and starring John Krasinski. I hope I said that right, John. That movie was terrifying and so good. So good. It really, really scared me, and it kept me entertained, and it kept my mind buzzing and thinking, and that was just, it was a fun experience. Hunter sat through the whole thing, but he continually commented on how he disagreed with our choice of movies tonight. It was PG-13, and he's 13, so, you know. Wendy, it is scary and creepy as far as, like, it keeps you on the edge of your seat, but the one thing I really appreciated about the movie was there was no, like, blood and guts and gore. Now, there's a couple people that get cut up pretty bad, and I don't really think it's too much of a spoiler to tell you that the female lead steps on a nail and it goes through her foot. But other than that, it really was, because I can't watch blood and guts, and I can't do gore and horror, that kind of thing. It's just too intense for me, but this was intense in a good way. It was creepy and scary in a good way, Wendy. Alright, that's all I have for you. What are you reading? Open your mind, expand your horizons, read something. Okay, thank you, friends. I am sending you grace and peace and sunshine, and I'll see y'all back here tomorrow. Alright, good night.